Okay, so when we last left you, you were with the Madrilathi Council, well, the secret council on sort of a desolate planet in sort of a very makeshift sort of base.
Oh, did we beam down to a planet?
Yeah, you did beam down, and you were, right? You beamed down. Yeah, you were talking to him in the planet. Yeah. Who was the crew member on the ship, like Jax or Jiz or Janix, whoever their name was.
Wow.
If anyone has the pin board open, it's in there. But
I do. Let me look at it.
They transported you down.
Okay. I just have Porg, Torg, Forg, Gorg, Jaxus, Jarv, Gum, Glau, and Zebel.
Jaxus.
It was Janix.
I just wrote a list of the names.
Yeah. And you were talking to the council, and they were like, the Nelcath, they told you how the Nelcath had, you realized that the Nelcath were not from the system, that they're actually the Borg, that they had come in and taken over the system, and that the Madrilathi were unable to fight them off, and that everything has been reconstructed to be a lie. And then right at the end was that you needed to figure it out soon because the Nelcath were in the middle of something with the black hole in the solar system.
Yeah, they were.
What was it we needed to figure out? Like, we don't know what they're doing with it? Or
that's where you left off.
Know...
They're using this thing for something. Gosh,
so
golly.
We need to figure out what they're using it for. That's the thing we need to figure out.
I don't know. You haven't
what are
asked
they
the
doing
council.
here?
Yeah. So you're in front of the council, and the council's just dropped this hot bit of information. What do you say and do?
Who's got the best diplomacy?
That's probably me.
Yeah.
I just nudge Penny forward.
No, you have good diplomacy too, Loxus, right? With swinging titties, so.
Well, that's true. All right. So maybe like Penny and I look at each other like, okay.
Paper, rock, scissors.
We could go forward together and, kind of.
Tag team.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can do that.
That's my hope.
Cool.
You can go first.
Okay. Okay, so the last thing that I had written down is that they said the solar system will be demolished if we don't figure this out quickly. So, I will say,
how do they know it's going to be demolished?
Okay, I say that. I just whoa. What makes you think the solar system is going to be demolished? What exactly is going on here?
And I don't think I've named anyone on this council.
Accessing library computer data.
The option that came up as Barg, B-A-R-G.
Oh, wow. Wow.
All right, Borg, here we go.
Barg.
But I'm not going to do that. My name is Jarv.
Jarv. That's better. Jarv.
So much better and different.
And these are my colleagues. Hold on.
Barv and Tarv.
Here they come.
These are my colleagues Gum, Glal, and Zebel. And I don't know if I described how they were sitting. We'll just say there's like a, sort of a conference room table. No, let's say like a city council sort of chambers where there's like a bench.
They're elevated.
Yeah, they're kind of up there.
A horseshoe of them.
And it's, we'll say there's 5 of them. And the one in the center.
And they're all Madrilathi?
They're all Madrilathi. The one in the center says, it's a bit inaccurate to say that the entire solar system will be destroyed. It's more accurate to say nothing other than the Nelcath will be able to live in the solar system if they manage to harness the power of this black hole. We don't know what they're doing exactly, but they appear to be messing around with the gravitational pull of the black hole. I don't know if your scanners have sensed it, but it's in the center of the galaxy. And if they do what we're thinking they're doing, it's going to collapse the solar system and potentially even further than the solar system.
What do you think they're doing?
Well, they seem to be doing something with the gravitational pull of the black hole, but we can't figure out what exactly.
What kind of forces are they? Like, how many? Like, do they have planets here or just ships in the vicinity?
We don't know anything.
But how? I mean, you know they're doing something to the black hole.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that because you've seen their ships?
We know that because our agents, like Captain Jackie, have been out there doing readings, and we've been sending agents into the Madrilathi planets in inner rings to collect data. We do have some agents in relatively decent places with the Central Command, but even, the Central Council, I should say, but even they don't know the true, what the Nelcath actually want. They only know what the Nelcath tell them.
I guess what I'm trying to figure out is, do we know how many Nelcath we're dealing with? Do we know where they come from?
No.
We don't know where they're stationed. We've never seen their ships.
No.
So just recently, we fought a few Nelcath that beamed onto Jackie's ship. Where did those guys come from? Did we see the ship in the vicinity, or they just came from nowhere that we're aware of?
We don't know anything about the Central Command.
Well, the Central Command is Madrilathi, right?
The Central Council is Madrilathi.
Oh, okay.
The Command is Nelcath. And for most Madrilathi, they're interchangeable.
So the Nelcath can beam to a location without a detectable ship nearby.
We don't know.
Because that just happened to us on the last episode. We fought Nelcath, right?
Are you talking
DM?
I'm not telling you that. Why would I tell you that?
Well, I mean, we just did that.
You didn't run any scans. I know you fought some Borg, but you didn't run any scans or anything like that.
Well, Jackie at the time was Blooty Blue doing...
Yeah, it literally just happened. You don't have any information. This Madrilathi Outcast Council doesn't have any information either.
What you're saying. I see what you're saying. Okay.
I mean, I don't have any information. You guys have to find the information. You guys have to do it. I'm not going to tell it to you.
Right.
So would the best route be to go back and meet with Lord Governor Drexel and see what information we can get from him?
The council above you, the Outcast Council, do you say that out loud?
Yeah.
The council just all sort of smiles and looks at each other and nods. And the one on the right end says, good. Lord Governor Drexel has finally proven himself worthy. We weren't sure if he would actually send anyone to our aid.
Well, you lucked out.
I suppose we did. How did you meet Lord Governor Drexel, out of curiosity?
Weren't we in a bar?
No, he's the PowerPoint guy.
He was a PowerPoint guy.
We met a man named Gremular or Velibor.
Oh, good. We didn't think Gremular would get anything done either.
Okay.
Those two have been floundering about, grasping at straws, trying to bring anyone into the system, and we didn't think it would ever happen, but they finally pulled their weight.
So Lord Governor Drexel is our contact with the Madrilathi Council, which until this moment, we thought we needed to keep you secret from them. So you're working with the Madrilathi Council?
Oh, no, not at all. We believe that we are the true Madrilathi Council.
So what's Lord Governor Drexel's correlation with you?
He's an agent of ours.
Yeah, because he was working kind of with the Nelcath, I thought, which is why I was like, oh, we should go back and see if we can get information from him.
But he's not working for the Nelcath or the other Magic.
Well, I mean, he is working for the Nelcath, but he's one of our men.
Okay.
We have Magalathi on the inside, but Lord Governor Drexel is as high up as they go, unfortunately.
Where's our ship? Where's the Komodo?
I believe it's like, how long did you guys fly? I'm trying to think. It's not that far away.
Worth.
Yeah. She put it into warp, whatever. You weren't going very fast. So the Komodo is not like, you're still in the same system.
But we couldn't transport there if we wanted to right now.
No, you're too far away from the Komodo to transport there.
Can we contact them?
Let's see.
Are we in communicator range?
I was going to say you're not in communicator range without, like...
We could send a subspace message.
You could send a subspace message.
It wouldn't be like a FaceTime.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I want to send a subspace message and have them ask them what, if anything, they found out about the black hole. What, if anything, they found around the black hole. And if they are not concentrating on the black hole, that's what I want them to concentrate on now.
Right. Because you had discovered the black hole before you left the Komodo, correct?
I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
What's this black hole doing here?
Yeah. It was very brief, and I was like, do you guys want to run more scans on that? And you're like,
we're good.
Well, we were too busy deciding to go to Brogana.
Yeah, it was, you had a lot of ideas, but I tried to nudge you on that, and you're like, no, we're good. I'm like, all right.
Why listen to the DM? We've got our own plans.
No, your plans are great. It was just funny. It was just one of those moments where the DM just sort of like smiles to themselves, right?
So I want to do that. I want to send a message that's like, screw everything else at this point. We have to be concentrating on that. And then I also want to somehow talk with the ship that is Captain Jackie, or if I know that's the thing, I don't know. And be like, what, if anything, have you found out about the Borg or whatever that we've just fought? We need all that information ASAP. We need information. Fucking now. This is stupid.
I mean, Jackie made it sound like they had been fending off attempts of the Borg to get the Nelcath to get on their ships frequently, that they're doing that all the time. So the fact that the council is saying that they had never actually seen the Nelcath before.
Okay.
The pirates in the Outer Ring is Captain Jackie. She's the pirates. Right. Her people have been kind of dinking around in the Outer Ring, collecting information, sending agents in sort of on the sly, collecting old tech as they can. And they were not necessarily, they're not necessarily fighting the Borg head on. That's not their right. thing. They've been mostly doing data collection and trying to win the Madrilathi people over to the idea that there is something more than what they've been told.
Did you give them a name?
I've not given these 5 Madrilathi council people names.
Who are Jarv, Gum, Gilville, and Zebel?
Those are all people from the ship, I think.
You may just address us as counselors.
Okay, counselors, it sounds to me like you're saying that the threat of the Madrilathi the Nelcath has become a more serious, more urgent than just seeding agents thing. Is that true? Is it escalating? Is it something that is no longer able to just
if they muck around with this black hole long enough, there won't be anything left.
Counselors, how long have they been mucking around with this black hole? How long have they been here and been doing the same thing? I don't understand why you think it's so important to do this now. You haven't even seen them until we've shown up, which means nothing's happened of any importance that they got scared about until we showed up. So it means nothing is happening. What? Why? Why is any of this important right now? Posa's pissed off.
Yeah, Loxus just kind of like leaning back, like, oh,
Because you say that you send somebody to try and you send the guy that was on the space station to try and get somebody, like, oh, I'm so glad he finally got somebody. We didn't think he would get anybody. So you didn't send your best men out to get important people to help you with an important situation? That doesn't make any sense.
Are you done? Look around you.
No, but go ahead.
Look around you. Does it look like we have much resources? Does it look like, I'm sorry, we're not the Federation. We're not Starfleet or whatever it is that you people call yourselves. We don't have, top of the line gear. We have a ship that is hundreds of years old and represents the best of former Madrilathi technology. And that's about all we have. So it's taken us hundreds of years just to get people on the inside to get any information about the Nelcath at all.
Is there reason to believe that this is more pressing than another 100 years? Like, do we have any time frame?
We have you here now, and I don't know if we'll ever have anyone here ever again. Because after this, I guarantee the Nelkelth will not allow anyone else in the system.
Shaq, we saw Borg, but they were weird Borg.
Right.
They weren't Borg that we know. So the fact that nobody else has seen them before now, to me, means that they're actually scared now.
I mean, to me, it seems like there's another Borg species that evolved differently than the Borg that we're aware of. They don't appear to be in hive mind with the rest of the Borg. They don't appear to operate the same way as the rest of the Borg. So we can't use our knowledge of the Borg to decide what they're doing, but obviously our knowledge is going to be very helpful to these people. We need to talk to Jackie, and we need to talk to Captain Takov. So let's get Takov here or us back there.
I think Takov should come here.
Anybody else have a thought on it?
Somebody want to call her?
Yeah, we can have Takov come here and she can talk to the council since we're not getting very far with them.
Well, I mean, we need the information that we just got from this first ever sighting of a Nelcath, and we need to make a decision as to what Starfleet is going to do about it.
Susie, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What is the likelihood that we would know that Jackie is a computer? Or is the ship?
I guessed it out of character.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Could Shaq have known it?
That's why I'm asking.
Character?
Yeah.
Right now, I don't think you guys have put 2 and 2 together. Because we discussed that last episode. Yeah, I think all of you still think Captain Jackie might be high advanced tech. So
we didn't do a lot of interfacing with the ship, beep booping, because there wasn't a whole lot to beep boop, to be honest. I don't remember us making any kind of connection in character, in game about that scenario.
Right.
Yeah, I kind of alluded to it. I mean, not to say that I'm retconning it, but just to say that maybe I have an idea.
It's not been put out there yet.
Put it out there, Danny.
I'm not. She's saying I don't know.
I mean, you have an inkling, but yeah. You have a guess. I mean, you can just ask.
Loxus just holds up her finger and goes, "Hey, council, could you tell me how I could get a date with this Jackie?"
And they all kind of look at each other, and then they kind of look back at Loxus, and they're like, "A date? You mean like in a romantic encounter?"
Yeah, she's hot, and she seems very elusive.
She's a ship. You do understand that, correct?
What?
Captain Jackie is...
Luxus is just kind of looking around like, huh, what? Huh? Puts her leg down from whatever she had perched it on.
Perhaps that's
awkwardly
a difference between Madrilathi tech and Starfleet tech. But yes, Captain Jackie is the ship. She is an advanced AI. She does have a personality of her own, as you probably saw. We do treat her like a distinct being with her own rights, but she is ship technology, so she has no true physical form.
Does she have a holodeck?
What is a holodeck?
All right, never mind.
Council, has Jackie given you any information about our recent encounter?
Oh, sure. I'm sure she's in the process of sending it all down to our databanks now.
I believe that before we can make a decision as to what we need to do to help you or how we can help you, that we review that information and speak with our captain. Can you arrange this?
Of course, that makes total sense. The information should be downloaded to our databanks by now. I mean, Captain Jackie was a state-of-the-art ship. So we can have, we can give you access to that data. I guess the bodies of the Nelcath that you battled. And, please feel free to send a message to your captain.
I do that. I send a message to Takar.
Okay, wait. That's what does everyone else want to do? There's a lot of information there.
Well, I thought I was already sending a message, but okay. That's what I want to work on is if I haven't been doing that already, is sending a message of basically like black hole, utter importance.
Loxus is still just kind of like looking a little bashful, kind of looking around like, damn.
Can't get it on with the ship, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, really disappointed, confused, kind of angry, still horny.
We're trying to figure out how you can get it on with the ship. You haven't given up.
Right.
You've
yes,
got
exactly.
more tenacity than that, Lox.
I'm like, she can interface with our ship.
Make eye contact with the council, point at the nearest, console, and say, may I?
Well, actually, we'll have, Janix, are you there? And Jax will walk in. Could you show these ladies to the databanks, please? And make the bodies of the invaders available to them. We'll also put you up for as long as it takes for your captain to get here. They're not stellar accommodations, but we've dealt with them for hundreds of years, so...
We're happy to have them.
Thank you. And whatever the other girls do, I'm going to start researching.
Okay. So Jax will take you to the databanks. Well, Jax will kind of be like, all right, the databanks are in here. If you need help interfacing with them, let me know. The bodies of the Nelcath are in the next room. If you'd like to take a look at them, please go ahead.
I'd like to have our ship's doctor take a look at those. But I get my tricorder out and plug it in. I don't know if it has a cord. But start doing a review.
Some Independence Day where you hook your Mac up to the alien tech with your
exactly.
a MacBook cord.
Just plug it straight in.
I'll take care, all right? Nothing but love for you. Nothing but love for you. You think they have any clue what's about to happen to them?
Oh, not a chance in hell. Good night.
It's universal.
Jack it into the port. And just try to compare that info to the Borg info and see what I can tell.
Okay, so Shaq's gonna work on the databanks. Who wanted to look at the Borg bodies?
Me. Posa.
Yeah.
I'd go look at Borg bodies with you.
Lux's gonna go look at the Borg bodies? All right.
I'm not really interested in sciencing any other way.
I got it unlocked, don't worry.
Penny, what do you want to do?
I'm going to meditate because Penny is doesn't know what the fuck's going on. So I think that I'm going to find a nice, cool, dark corner to just meditate the fuck out of this situation and see if I can gain any insight that maybe the Madrilathi Council doesn't know they know or anything like that. Like anything that, because it seems like there's a lot that they don't know and they want us to help them. So I'm wondering if I meditate just with my surroundings and what's around, there might be pieces that they haven't put together that I can kind of make fit or something.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's pronounced masturbate.
Oh yeah, that. I'm going to masturbate is what I meant. Yep. I'm going to find a nice, cool, dark corner.
Help you gain focus. That's what I would do.
Yeah, isn't that what you're doing?
That's the opposite way to focus.
I don't know. Depends on how you do it, I guess.
All right, so Shakel, you need some dice.
I do. I was thinking that.
Give me a roly poo. You have an advantage. those bad boys. I guess on a surface. 3. You can roll them on this if you want.
Oh, I don't. I'm going to bump my finger.
Don't bump your finger.
You got 1.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You got a plus.
That's right. Flicking that old bean.
Oh, boy.
So, boy. No, Shakel is not. She's doing the exact opposite. I guarantee.
The brain bean. Her brain bean.
She's flicking her brain bean.
Yeah.
Chill out.
Sexy, Shaq.
So no, Shakel is, you're perusing through the data, sort of feeding it through your tricorder to sort of translate it and make sense of it. You can tell that Captain Jackie's ship didn't have nothing pinged on Captain Jackie's ship about there being any threat nearby. This was something that they just didn't see coming. But when they did beam aboard, everything you're looking at, right? All the data you've collected from, the ship sensors, etc., do show sort of that strange mixture of half of what you expect to be Borg and the other half being some sort of foreign tech. And you recognize a little of it being Madrilathi, because you've dealt with the Madrilathi tech now, because you picked up a bunch of stuff in the ruins, and some ill-fitting shoes, and I think you left that silverware behind.
It's on the ship.
But, no, you had 2 sets left, I think. But, you would say about, half of it's what you expect dealing with Borg. A significant chunk of the remaining half is Madrilathi tech. And then there are these nanobots, right, that are partially Borg, partially influenced by Madrilathi tech. And then there's just this third thing to it that now that you're looking closer at it, you don't get at all. You've never seen before. So
they didn't detect any ships or where they're beaming from, but we're a little bit more advanced, and we have dealt with cloaking technology before. Can I use that knowledge to tell if there is something cloaked either nearby or in the vicinity of the black hole?
I will say if you had your Komodo sensors, this would be way easier. But I will still let you roll, but I'm going to have you roll at a disadvantage because you're interpreting information through a different set of sensors.
Okay.
So roll 1 dice. Die?
Don't worry about it. Just call it dice.
What's it?
Oh, it's a blank.
Oh, okay. So I think, you probably, based on what you've seen, right? You're thinking, well, there's got to be some sort of cloaked technology. You don't find anything to disprove that, but you don't find anything to prove it either. Okay. So
I can always try again when the ship gets here.
Yeah. When you have the Komodo's information, when you have the Komodo systems, it might be easier. So, oh, right. The ladies with the dead bodies, what are you doing?
I have eidetic memory and also ecologist. So I don't know. I mean, not that I'm, going to stack those or anything, but it's testing to recall information I've heard previously. I succeed on a blank or a plus, or attempting to identify dangerous alien creatures. I also have advantage. So basically, more or less, I'm probably going to find out the same information that Shakel knows, but I don't know what she knows yet because we're not necessarily talking to each other. We're doing everything at the same time.
Yeah.
But I just want to poke and prod and be like, the bits and pieces that I saw on what I assume are Borg that don't look like Borg bits and pieces. I want to kind of inspect those more.
Sure.
Okay. Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Did you roll 2 or 3?
I rolled 3.
Okay.
And I got a minus and 2 blanks.
Well.
Loxus is literally just standing next or behind trying to be helpful and more just being curious and staring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if there's anything that I like, if I can assist in any way, or just because I'm all up in it, just watching.
My eidetic memory, I get a success on a blank or a plus.
Oh,
And
okay,
it's
right on.
my ecologist that I get advantage. So I guess I
Right.
should have said, what do you want me to use? And then roll for that.
Well, we'll just kind of split the difference and say you'll succeed on your eidetic memory.
Okay.
And so your eidetic memory, when you recall information that you've seen before. So, right. You kind of, your memory kind of pulls up the same thing with your tricorder. With the limited access to information you have right now, because you don't have the full ship's computer. You only have a tricorder's worth of data, which is pretty big, but it's not a whole ship's worth of data.
Right.
You know, it definitely pings off all of the Borg sensors, right? You're like, yes, okay, this is definitely Borg.
Right.
But you sort of see the same thing as you're kind of picking the body apart. I mean, you're probably not pulling it apart. You're not doing like a full autopsy, but you're kind of poking at it. And you're looking at the different plating and the different implements. And I mean, the thing about the Borg, right, is they conquer every species that they come across. So Borg from one cube may look different from Borg from another cube, because if those cubes are in different sectors, they're taking over different species.
Yeah.
But they share all that technology.
They share all that tech, but that
other.
doesn't mean that they necessarily have... They share the knowledge, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they have the physical items.
Right.
That they've scrounged together and slapped on their bodies, right? They can recreate it, but they can recreate the stuff with what they have, but what you're looking at, you feel like this is a Borg who... I guess particular portion of the collective has adapted to its surroundings and made use of the tech that it's had. Mm-hmm. But you also don't see a lot of the Borg technology or implants that you've come to expect. Not that you've dealt a lot with the Borg in your past, but you all had Borg 101, right, in Starfleet Academy. You don't see a lot of the typical components that you would expect to see on a Borg body, regardless of the sector or the cube that they were on, or sphere.
I know I'm not in the room, but does that mean, do they have the thing that injects nanoprobes inside you and assimilates you? Because they don't seem to be trying to assimilate the Magulathi in that way.
Yeah.
So, you did look at the nanobots. And the nanobots you saw, even before this particular, when you're looking at the data just now, they don't look like the nanobots that they inject into people to assimilate them. Okay. It's actually sort of weird, right? Because the nanobots are on things and not inside of things.
Right.
So the nanobots
on butts,
except butts. They're on everything
butts.
Except butts,
and they're not inside butts,
and they're not inside
or
butts,
veins or cell walls,
right?
Unless they're on dildos that are going, or butt plugs going inside butts.
Well, yes, that's a different story.
Well, if they do get in your butt from a butt plug,
handles.
They come back out.
That's the important part.
Okay.
They stay on whatever you've inserted.
Right. They don't stay inside. So you seem to be dealing with an exterior brand of nanobots instead of an interior brand of nanobots.
Okay. So assimilation doesn't seem to be a threat with this particular evolution of the Borg. Can I tell?
Well, hold on. So we're gonna go.
I'm sorry.
No,
Someone else say something.
I know you're eager. You're excited. You're excited for the Borg information. I get it. Everyone's hot for the Borg information.
Got a real Borg boner.
But everything that Danny's saying, and is asking, I'm just going to extrapolate, right? Both Shekel and Posa are seeing this in your scans, right?
Yeah.
This is information that you're thinking about it. Your Starfleet Academy courses. You're thinking about what everyone's dealt with. Voyager dealt with the Borg spheres, and then the Enterprise dealt with the Borg cubes and the Queen and blah, 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 blah. And it just doesn't seem to mesh up with everything that you learned. It's half true, it's half there, and the other half is just like question mark, question mark, question marks. But Penny, you're going to do some meditation. Now, what are you meditating about?
Masturbating.
No, it's just
Sorry.
not.
Yeah, sorry. I'm gonna go
What
get
are
another
you
beer. I'm gonna take a
masturbating
quick break. Put myself on a timeout.
I'll be in my bunk.
Holodeck 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't forget to put up your holodeck maze.
Yeah. Sex labyrinth.
Your sex maze in the holodecks.
Oh my god, yes!
Because they always just burst in and they're like diddling about. I'm like, come on, you got
A couple
Or no
doorways.
locked doors.
That's what I like. That's
Starships.
how I design it.
Oh.
Of course, Lox is just like, what's up?
Oops!
Well, Shaq has a sex labyrinth.
Yeah. Shaq has like the big.
The most intense of labyrinths.
Oh yeah, like what am I thinking of? Like the big tree trunk on the chains that swing down and hit you as you walk through the maze.
I have a bunch
Gauntlet?
of traps.
Yeah, a real gauntlet.
Home Alone style traps in my sex
Those
labyrinth.
traps will kill you. Those traps aren't fucking around.
Don't try to peep on my sex.
You're right. It's way too much work.
Exactly.
Okay, so Penny, what are you meditating about?
Sex labyrinth.
Yeah. I was like, well, now.
Sex labyrinth gonna look like. We're all thinking
All
about
right,
it now.
listeners, I want you to do fan art about what you think all of our characters' sex labyrinths look like.
Yeah.
Design me. I want our listeners to design me dungeons for each character's sex labyrinth for the holodeck
God.
episodes.
Do it.
Don't hold back, guys.
Yeah. You can send them to us at memoryelf@gmail.com. I want to see these sex labyrinth dungeons.
Mine's
So
just a
do
door
I.
with a big sign that says, come on in, with like a welcome mat.
Let the listeners decide.
You just stole Loxus's.
It's
fucking
well
labyrinth.
lit. Yes. Okay.
Mirrors.
Got, like, neon open.
Okay, focus, everybody. Dee Dee's
Anyway.
gotta go to bed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh shit! That's right.
I am meditating. I'm like, had to think about the word to make sure I said
Yeah,
the right
I
one.
almost did
am
that too.
meditating. Yes. About, like I said, like maybe there's information that's out there that people have not put together to form a complete, like, bit of information. It's just kind of in complete pieces. So, I'm going to meditate about just different pieces of information that are floating around the ship. Maybe a little bit of like, I'm not telepathic, but I can sense things. So I might be able to know things that, are all just kind of discombobulated and get it together into complete thoughts to see if I can put any puzzle pieces together that have not been put together yet.
Are you gonna use your cube, the VR thing?
Yeah, I was planning on it. That was going to be my, my success, my automatic success for the evening.
All right. So, what does it look like? You get your VR cube out.
I get my VR cube out. And so I'm sitting in a corner, like with my back to the room. So I'm sitting facing the corner, because there's just a lot of shit going on.
Like a timeout.
Yeah. So I put myself into a meditative timeout. I sit cross-legged and I just have the cube, on the ground in front of me, and I like steeple my fingers maybe underneath my chin, and I just kind of do that gazing look at it where it's like I look through it but at it at the same time. Yeah. And like it's a fucking magic 8-ball or some shit. Yeah, I shake it a little bit, even though they're not supposed
Right.
to.
Like the picture in the VR cube that surrounds you sort of wavers a little bit, and the little chameleon that's like skittering across the rocks sort of like backs up and then like backs up a few times and then like moves forward. Mm-hmm. Okay. You're going to kill me, but remind me one more time what the question you're meditating is.
A specific question, like a one-line question?
Yeah,
is
like
what you
sort
want?
of a directed thought that you wanna sort of seek an answer to. It doesn't have to be super specific, but
What are we missing?
Yes, basically, what is being missed is what I want to know. Like all of the bits of pieces of information that are out there, put it together and see if I can form a picture puzzle.
And the more nebulous your question, the more nebulous my answer.
Sure.
The more pointed your question, the more direct my answer will be. So let's see, how can I make this as you automatically succeed because you're VR cube. What are you missing? You feel like there's something more than both the Borg and the Madrilathi. You feel like there's like a third presence.
Element.
Yeah, there's a third presence or element that you haven't connected any, like, there's a dot out there that's a third element. You haven't connected the other dots to this dot yet. That's what you feel.
So just to be clear, the Nelcath aren't just like... The Nelcath are the Borg, right? They're not just like, okay.
They're whatever this particular iteration of the Borg are. You recognize them. You recognize them as Borg. The Madrilathi didn't know what the fuck Borg were. They called them Nelcath, right? That's just what they call them.
Right.
Now, the Borg don't generally shy away from, like, encounters. Like, what if we just went to them?
Well, I think the problem is at this point we don't know exactly where they are, which is one of the things I wanted the Komodo to kind of figure out.
If we got back with Jackie, considering they're trying to find that ship and that technology, if we like kind of baited them in, just let them think that they got lucky and they found Jackie, and haha, there we are.
Right.
We don't know that we... Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
Damn it.
Okay.
No, you go. No, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say.
Okay. Danny, go first.
No, you go.
Deanna. Okay.
Okay.
I was just gonna say
alphabetically.
Oh God. We should wait for Takov before we make any decisions about starting a conflict. But I think the conflict probably surrounds the thinger, black hole. So if we wanted to fight the final boss and go there right now, I assume it's going to be near the black hole, which is what we can continue to study while we wait for Takov, because we're going to have to get Starfleet's go ahead to like finish this, I would say.
Yeah.
Starfleet will probably want to weigh in. Deanna, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say Posa would like to shuffle embarrassed back to the council.
Okay.
And maybe ask a question.
Okay. They just sort of...
I also just want to say Loxus's response to Shaq's idea of just like waiting around not doing anything. She put her thumb up in the air, like real high above her head, and then turned it upside down and went
like.
I know that's a very Loxus response, but remember that she is a Starfleet officer who is technically higher ranked than us.
Yeah, you don't want to red squad this.
More interested in Starfleet's go ahead.
Yeah.
It's still funny.
Been a long story arc.
It's been a long
road. Getting from there to here, it's been a long time.
So unfortunately,
you're gonna get your boss dungeon. Don't worry.
Yeah, her shit wore off. Yeah, she's just itching for some fighting. Just really like about to hump a ship. So.
She literally spent the previous 3 days fucking everyone on Brogana. Okay, you think there would be a way to satiate her?
No, she's insatiable.
No,
it's impossible.
At least for a moment.
How many vaginas do you have, Loxus?
Oh my god, how many vaginas can I have? I mean, at least two.
Have 2 dicks.
I have a butt.
So,
right. Do you have 2 buttholes then?
Oh, fuck.
Sorry, I shouldn't encourage
Look, why don't you think about that? Dee Dee, what are you going to say to the council?
I've got 2 of each.
Yeah. Just
That's a 4-plex
Anyway, yeah.
Party.
Posa goes back to the council. What's the question that Posa asks the council sheepishly?
So yeah, I kind of humbly shuffle back in and try to act cool.
Yeah.
And I say, "Forgive me. I just need to put a few pieces together real quick and just go with me. You're probably gonna think like you're an idiot. That's cool. Like whatever. But how long have the Nelketh been a part of the Madralathi life?"
200 years, you said last time.
Well, historical.
A couple hundred years, right? Just a couple hundred years. Just we don't wash it.
Historical documents differ, and people debate.
Our own GM for it.
Yeah, I was like,
okay,
but somewhere between 200 and 500 years. Long enough. So what they have done, we will say this: they came in, they annihilated all of our written texts, our historians, our temples, our libraries. They razed it all. And they replaced it with lies, slowly but surely. And we are the descendants of the original Madralathi Council who fled when the Nelkath entered the system.
Okay. So they have been destructive. They have attacked. There has been technically fighting, although the Madralathi didn't necessarily fight back.
The Madralathi, interestingly, did try to fight back. I think Captain Jackie may have, either the council or Captain Jackie may have mentioned this offhand, but the council will reiterate that, well, the 5 planets never did get along very well. Everyone thought and this is still true to this day, regardless of who's in power. I feel like this will be, in time as a flat circle, this will always be the case, that every Madralathi planet feels like it has the best way of living, which is silly because every planet in the system is different and was settled differently in accordance with the climate and ecosystems. So
Sure.
They're all very different, but everyone's very proud of their lifestyles, and we never did get along. So when the Nelkath came along, and I believe they were drawn here by the black hole, that's our guess, that we resisted. We did not do a good job. We did the best we could to band together, but our differences in the end made us easy to conquer.
And they have raised temples and libraries on all 5 planets?
As much as they could in the system. But they have bothered, as you saw, less with the Outer Ring, the Central Command, which is under Nelkath control. We don't know who's behind that. But they limit and do not permit any excursions out to the Outer Ring. You know, it's where Captain Jackie picked you up.
Yeah.
There are some old ruins there that are falling into disrepair that we've tried to dig through under the radar.
Okay. One last thing, and then I'll get out of your respective hair. Do they have hair?
That's a good question. I don't know if we've ever said whether
they have little
hair.
ponies. Little ponytails.
They have ponies? Little ponies?
Yeah, like
top knots?
Not like in the front, but like on the top of their head.
Top knots, yeah.
Oh, okay. In all of the time that they have been here, do you know, have there been any record, any sighting of the Nelketh making more Nelketh? Because that's what the Borg do in where we're from. The Borg find civilizations such as yours, and they either completely destroy them because they think they're lesser than, or they consume them because they think that they're at least as good as them, and they want all of their information. So they will go in and they will destroy things, and they will turn all of the creatures living on that planet into Borg. Does that happen with the Nelketh?
there doesn't seem to be a lot of active conquering, but we have suspected for a while that when people break the laws, especially trying to explore the outer rings, things like that, they're typically given life sentences and we never see them again. Well, we don't see anyone, to be frank. We're out here, but the Magalathi on the main planets, once they've been taken into custody, they don't come back.
Okay. Cool.
So back in the quarters, Shaq beat Boops. And she's thinking, okay, there's a third thing here. It's not just Borg.
Right.
It's not just Nelketh. It's not just Magalathi. There's a third thing. The only other presence in the sector and technology that we've seen from the Outer Rim is Breen. Is the third thing Breen? Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, boop, boop.
Extrapolating from the nanobots and the scans on the Borg bodies that Captain Jackie did, right, just when they beamed on, the ship just did all sorts of scans on them all at once.
Yeah.
You don't suspect it to be Breen.
Not Breen. Okay. Can I tell if there is any evidence of a hive mind?
Oh, sure. And in this data scans, you don't really get, I guess Captain Jackie's ship did like a biological scan on them when they beamed in.
And we have the guys.
But looking at that, you feel like you need to go look at the bodies to get that information.
So that'd be my next thought. So maybe I join the ladies in whatever morgue they have set up.
Right.
It's a Borg morgue.
A smorgasbord?
Posa, do you go back to the Borg morgue once you're done talking to the council? Yeah, the morgasborg.
When I leave, as I'm leaving the council chambers, I'll doop to Penny and be like, I'm sorry to bug you. Where are you at? Are you done doing what you're doing?
And yeah, I'm done. I can meet you back in the Borg morgue. I think it's probably good that we get together and share all the information that we gathered from our montage of different things we were doing.
Perfect. I'll meet you in the fucking Borg morgue.
So the two of you, we'll just say the four of you convene, right? Since Loxus never left. Shakel's going there, and the two of you are headed there.
Yeah.
Straight up hanging out at the Borg morgue.
It's the hit new song. Dropping that signal.
Hey, Benny, you want to make out at the Borg morgue?
Oh, God, yes.
Whatever.
Maybe later.
It's spooky season. You're not doing it right if you're not making out in the Borg morgue.
Seriously, what other opportunity are you going to make out in a Borg morgue?
Seriously. No, I fully agree.
Insert spooky Halloween music here.
Done.
Werewolf bar mitzvah, spooky, scary. Boys becoming men becoming wolves.
Some haunted mansion music. So all four of you meet back up in the area where the dead Borg are kept. And then
we share the information.
Y'all share. We won't make you all go through that. You collectively share your information.
Loxus asks if everybody wants to make out in the Borg morgue just to cross it off their list.
No.
Yep.
No.
See a lot of head shaking no.
Not right now.
All right, just saying.
You can't tell because I don't have pupils, but boy, did I roll my eyes.
I can tell. We can all tell, Shaq.
We know.
Okay.
We can all tell.
You're all finally honed into Shakel's very minor eye
also
rolls.
you breathe.
Yeah.
The huffing of all things.
All right, so now that you all know that information, so suppose out loud to each other now.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, one of my first thoughts was they came here, they thought they were gonna take shit over just like the fucking Borg do, and then they got disconnected somehow, and now they want to go. They want to get back to the collective.
Are they trying to communicate with the collective?
Yeah.
I'm scanning now to see if are connected to one another.
You're looking in their brains, their brain bits, looking for that collective. Roll me, I'll give you advantage. Roll me 3 dice.
I got a plus.
Okay. You actually look at this. You kind of scan their brain bits, and you're poking at their implants. And the implants there that line up with a collective consciousness, a hive mind, are there. So, it's hard to tell because they're dead. They're not receiving any input right now. But from what you can tell, you believe that there is some sort of hive mind thing still at work here, or there should be.
Okay. Now, the Borg usually beam their dead bodies away.
Yeah.
So they're obviously not in contact with the big hive, the Borg, but they are hive mind amongst themselves, and maybe that's not an important thing to this version of this hive mind. They don't seem to me like Borg that are stranded, like Hugh or, Seven when she was part of that collective. Disconnected collective. We have that information. Well, actually, since we have that information, why don't I check and see if they are in fact Borg that got...
Yeah, roll me 3 dice. Yeah.
That one I did not get a plus.
Okay. You're kind of thinking like, wasn't there this case of a localized collective that, everyone knows 7 of 9, she's famous, right? She's part of the Voyager crew. And you're like, wasn't there some sort of like makeshift ad hoc collective she made? You remember that episode where she made that ad hoc collective and it fucked them all up? And if they removed their implants, they died. But they all chose to remove their implants and chose that dying as individuals, right?
Yeah.
Was better than being a being the fucked up collective that they were.
Yeah.
So you do have these instances, right, of this land, this Borg land. And it's hard to tell. But you're thinking about it and you're like, that would make sense, but you don't have any proof of it.
Right.
Okay,
so here's the thing. If we... This is Posa talking, not Dee Dee. If we get them out of the system somehow, if we destroy them, if we lead them away, if they, for some reason, really want Jackie, the ship, I guess she is now. That's fucking weird. If they want Jackie, we can, lead them away with her ship or her, whatever the fuck. Do we... Oh, God. What do we do about the Madralathi? Because do we just lead them away and that's it? We're done?
Well, the Madralathi are fine. They just need to not be destroyed by the Nelkath.
But they have all this history that the Nelkath implanted, and clearly most of the Madralathi believe all of that. So are they just going to continue to believe it even?
Frankly, It's not our problem. What their society does, we can't really put our hand in it. They've asked us to deal with the Nelkath.
You also are, as you sort of say that out loud, you kind of remember, there's this outcast council. Right, that you've been talking to. So...
Right.
Mm-hmm. Maybe they'll take care of that. But really, it's not Starfleet's problem. If from Starfleet's point of view, from my point of view, Lieutenant Shakel, the only good Borg is a dead Borg. So we are going to have to fucking kill them. We can't just lead them away because then what? They meet up with the hive mind again and eat some fucking brains for breakfast.
Loxus walks up on Shaq's shoulders and grabs her by the shoulders, shakes her around. This is what I'm talking about. This lady knows what she's talking about. Kind of shakes you a little too much, probably. Grips a little too hard, breathes a little too close to your ear.
So excited.
I put my arm around Lox and I say, we need to get Takov and Starfleet approval, but... Right?
Do we, though? This is Borg.
No, we do.
And I will say at that moment, your communicators chirp.
Oh, thank God.
Is it Takov?
The Takov's voice will come on and she'll say, Lieutenants, are you there?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you weren't actually that far away. We got your subspace message rather quickly. This is... You think about warp, right? And this is not to cover this. You think about warp inside of a galaxy, inside of a solar system. You're gonna go pretty far, pretty quickly with warp 6, right?
Right.
You're gonna bloop.
Yeah.
Captain Jackie, you may remember Captain Jackie sort of had the equivalent of warp 1. So a really nice ship, not great warp tech. maybe not even, I think I said warp 1, but it was really like, what's the speed that's not warp? Impulse. It was almost like warp 0.5. It was like really
impulse
fast.
and a half.
Yeah, exactly. Full impulse and a half. Which
that's what she said.
Might explain, when you think about it, might explain why Starfleet's not been like too hot to get into their shit, because
they're technically pre-warp.
They're like, they haven't like done a lot of warp shit from what you can tell. So Takav will say, all right, so it seems like you've found out quite a bit of information. Well, she doesn't know that. I assume that you found quite a bit of information.
We did, ma'am, yes.
I know the four of you. I would appreciate it if you would come back on board and discuss the matter with me.
We'll be right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
It sounds good when I put the real sound effect over that.
You want to do with the council before you beam out, right? Because
No,
you're not gonna beam out till you say
bye,
like,
Felicia. I'm just kidding. We say bye
later.
Yeah. Do you want to let the council know that you're leaving?
Bloop bloop. Council, our ship is here. We're leaving to discuss. We will
They don't
contact
have
you.
communicators.
They don't have fucking inter-ship communication?
Have you?
Intercoms?
No,
I'll go back to the council.
Whatever they have,
already
whatever
on board.
tech they have,
I'm already on board,
doesn't
so
interface like instantly with your tech, right?
Okay, well, we beamed up, so let's just send them a subspace message that says...
All right.
So Posa was on her way in to talk to the council, so did she get beamed from, like, the hallway outside of the council chamber?
Like, about to open the door, and I'm like...
Okay.
They're just like, well, all right. They just all kind of look at each other, and they're like, well, I hope they decide to help us. It's not...
The door starts to open, and then she dematerializes, and it just goes back closed again.
We'll close with you guys talking to Takav. I assume you meet Takav in the, the space conference room. What do they call it? The
Observation Lounge.
Observation Lounge, yes, which is so weird because it's not a lounge, it's a conference room. So she calls you all into the Observation Lounge, and she'll sit down at the head of the table, and she'll say, all right, what do you know and what do we need to do?
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Because we could just assume you tell her everything, right? Yeah.
We do. And then we say all the things. We play this episode for her.
Yeah.
Yes, we just replay it.
You should hear this.
Do you want to recommend or try to convince Takav to take a course of action, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at. Like,
yes.
We'll leave it at you guys making a recommendation to Takav and trying to convince her that your recommendation is the right one.
Go get the fucking Borg.
I think their recommendation that Shakel wants to do right now with the information she has, so obviously we'll do some more scans with the better ship's computers and, see if we can find the cloaked things if there are any, but basically Shakel's recommendation is that we do assist the Majalathi in the destruction of the Nelketh.
And Takav will nod and look at the rest of you, and she just looks at Loxus and she says, I know what Lieutenant Agug would like to do, undoubtedly.
Ma'am, this is the Borg. I don't think there's any reason to wait. If they're using that black hole for bringing more Borg, that's not something that you can really pause on.
I'm inclined to agree. I am forced to relay our information to Starfleet Command, but I do believe that as soon as I mention the word Borg, that they will agree. The question is, should we wait for backup, or do you think we should go in as soon as possible?
As soon as possible.
It sounds like there's no more waiting involved.
Mm-hmm. Despite what I just said, I do think we should find out what the size of the threat is.
Sure.
Because we are just one ship, and I don't want to Wolf 359 our ass.
Yeah, and Penny chimes in, because I've been sitting in the corner or whatever, smiling, because I'm thinking of the That's What Friends Are For song, Keep Shining. Except I'm like, keep scanning, and that's what Starfleet's for. Because We should keep scanning and make sure we have all the information, because I really feel like there's something that we're missing. There's a third piece here that we're not seeing, and so I think we should complete our scans.
If that's species 8742, we're really fucked. So we probably figure out what that third thing is.
I don't see any reason why we can't send in a advanced squad and also continue scanning, Takov says.
That's what I'm talking about, ma'am. I point at her. Wink.
Well, ladies,
put my hand on my hip.
Do whatever you require, and then I would say, suit up. Let's kill ourselves some Borg. At that point, it shits out of the can.
Yeah.
Wait, the can?
Shit. Cat's out of the bag.
Shit is out of the bag.
We opened up the can of shit.
Why would you can shit?
Why would you bag shit?
Why would you let it out? Don't do that.
You bag dog shits. That makes sense. But...
You put it in the can, you leave it there.
Okay.
Keep it in
This is a good comedy routine, but let's get back to our call.
You have been listening to Mammary Alpha. Your hosts would like to thank Smelly Tooth, who composed our theme song and some of the other music that you hear, as well as roll music. You can find us online at mammaryalpha.com and on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as Mammary Alpha. You can tweet at us using the hashtag #ThisPodcastIsTheTits, thanks to Dee Dee, and support us by buying a t-shirt or becoming a patron. And don't forget to leave a rating or review on iTunes.